I don't really consider myself as a victim to this process. I mean, it would have been nice to travel. I was about to go to open an exhibition in the US and to start an important investigation that we have on migration in Florida, and that was stopped or delayed by that. But obviously, there are communities in the world that are suffering both digital and physical violence much more. But I think it did bring to home this idea that as we're looking for how to develop our work towards the next decade, that we need to look both at digital and physical violence and the way that they are getting entangled. And when you're doing that, you're always part of the process. So imagine it's very different than researching work, let's say, in a remote place in Mexico where we work on a disappeared students, or in Indonesia about forest fires. They are relatively remote places for us. The difference is that the digital domain, when you're entering into this investigation, you're always in it. And what we are undertaking right now is an investigation powered by the kind of the necessity of the corona isolation and the way in which companies are using digital surveillance that they are offering to the public as a way of surveying the virus to actually being weaponized in many other ways. So we are researching a particular corporate. I will not mention the name. A particular corporation that is involved in creating malware and cyber weapons against civil society activists. Not only civil society activists, a lot of our friends and partners around us have been targeted by that. So we are directly implicated in that question. And we are trying to ask a simple question. What is an incident? If forensic architecture has become good at unpacking incidents, police violence, acts of urban warfare, a shipwreck, all sort of incident, and unpacking their what has happened and unpacking the political context. The question is, what is an incident in the digital domain? How are you being surveyed, and how surveillance affect your physical life? So we are seeing that, for example, colleagues of ours, partners of us in Mexico that have been surveyed by that company, kinetic things, physical things start to happening to them while they're being digitally surveyed. And then, almost like a virus, the surveillance starts from a patient zero, let's say, the first person in Mexico that has been targeted, and it spreads to her colleagues, and from her colleagues to other groups, from Mexico to UAE, from the UAE to Saudi Arabia, to Palestine, from Palestine back to Rwanda, and then to India. And in a sense, the kind of the viral analogy is quite interesting and successful in understanding it. But the violence of that surveillance is both physical and digital. And increasingly, we'll have to gear ourselves up to violence that happen on those both domains. And when you're there, when you investigate those things, there is no remoteness. You're always swimming in that sea because we are living within those, as you said, well, those kind of digital technologies, and we inhabit this data, and you're never simply a kind of a remote researcher of an event that happened long ago or far away.